Hi everybody, I hope that you and your family are doing well. Today's class plan video is pretty brief and will cover an overview of the new futures assignment and then just a quick overview of the world building worksheet. So if you would, go ahead and follow along if you want. Head over to the assignment page and then down to the new futures project, and you can click in. Because we're online, this project was really tied into the presentation, but since we're not face-to-face, I opened that up a little bit, so it's a little bit different. So for this project, you're going to invent a future that solves the problem you think most threatens the continued existence of life on Earth, while also exploring the social, ecological, and economic ramifications of that solution. The final draft is 2,000 to 2,500 words, and you can develop the topic you discussed in your presentation or generate a completely new one, so it's up to you. Quick note on the specs. So again, 2,000 to 2,500 words. You will have an introduction, and then when we move over to the worksheet, you'll see how you can just revise some of the worksheet work into the final draft. So introduction that sets up, here are the problems, and here's why they are problems, and then in the second half, here are my responses. The response section, you'll have to develop at least 5 elements of the world that you're building. So government, economy, education, etc. And then finally, make sure that you show how those different elements of the society relate to each other. So like I say here, if you have a society where cars have been outlawed, for example, how would that change interpersonal relationships? The assignment also will contain some visual design work. We're going to work on that next week. And then as we move into Moore's Utopia that we're using as a kind of template and model for this project, you'll see how he sets up the different relationships between the social categories. Until then, if you want, go ahead and take a look at some of the project models posted here from previous classes. One quick note, just like the presentations, you'll want to consider how fictional or how many fictional elements you want to include in these projects. My one note is please be as creative as you want, but make sure that the fictional elements that you introduce enhance the sort of logical goals, and as opposed to relying on, say, for example, some sort of magical energy source that solves all of your problems, right? Vibranium is not as interesting as thinking about broad social and technological shifts in order to achieve renewable energies, for example. So, but we've got a while to work on that. And if you have any questions, you can ask me when we meet or via email. And then next week, I'm going to add some remote office hours. So you can drop in and talk to me online if you want to. Okay, so quickly today, if you haven't already seen the requirements for today, so our 4th process document, you'll navigate to the class plan for today and then find your name listed in one of these lists. Once you click in, this is what you're going to see. So part 1, take 5 to 10 minutes, respond to the following. If the goal or project you detail in your presentation were to be realized, how would it transform the ecological, economic, and social systems of a future world? And then step 2, you might also, you'll respond to these sets of questions, thinking about, in addition to the changes you outline, what would the specific changes look like? So, as opposed to word count, think about just the types of free writing that we've been doing in class. So just take the time to respond to the prompts, so 10 to 15 minutes. And then, sorry. Don't worry too much about grammar mechanics, and you also do not need to upload these to Canvas. I have access to them, and so I'll just jump into these and read through them and then provide comments in the margins in the next couple of days. All right, so that's everything for me. If you have questions or concerns, go ahead and just email me, and I look forward to reading your inventions. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.